Hello and welcome to this episode of Star Wars Generations podcast. Friends, it's been like a couple of days since Maul Shadow Lord finished, so now we can move on to other things. And so today fuck it, let's keep talking about Maul. There was so much more to
Hell
say.
yeah.
Alex hasn't had a chance to comment on the last two episodes, but more importantly, we also just want to kind of, now that we've seen the whole thing, look back at the whole show, talk about what worked, talk about what we loved, what we maybe could have seen done differently, what this all teaches us about the Star Wars universe, and what we think is going to happen going forward, both with Maul, but also with Star Wars in general, with everything we've learned. So before that, though, I want to give Alex a chance to brag about a cool thing he did by way of saying a really injustice that many of you suffered that he managed to escape. So, Alex, give us your humble brag about Celebration.
I did secure my tickets to Star Wars Celebration. I did wait in an online line for over 2 hours in order to do so, with multiple browsers open. But it start like Lucasfilm and ReedPop just heavily dropped the ball. I mean, they allowed a ticket limit of 20 per person, which in theory would make sense if that was the limit for individual day tickets. So like if you were going with 5 people and the 4-day ticket limit was sold out, you know, you can buy all the tickets you need. Because I ended up having to buy 8 tickets for me and my friend, one for each of us for all 4 days. But 20 ticket limit for the 4-day and 4 ticket limit for Jedi VIP. Jedi Master VIP sold out in 30 minutes and the 4-day tickets sold out in under an hour. And after 5 hours, everything was sold out. And the majority of fans were left with no tickets. And scalpers already have them listed for 4 or 5 times the price. So I'm very excited that I got in and got my tickets. I had to pay extra on top of whatever the 4-day ticket would have cost because I had to get them individually. But I feel horrible for all the fans that can't go or are going to have to pay exorbitant prices because for whatever reason, they decided to have the most horrible ticketing system I've ever seen in my life. They almost like overcorrected. In Japan, they had like a really, really low limit. You can only buy like 2 or 3 tickets a person. And now they just went to 20 tickets. And I'm like, okay, guys, like, what are we doing? It's the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. Tons of fans want to go. Can we get this right, please?
Yeah. We need a happy medium.
Right.
Especially, I'm definitely surprised that you had to buy the tickets individually because you think a lot of people are going to be traveling for this. You'd think most people would want to buy the 4-day ticket package. So
and they had those, but they sold out in under an hour.
Yeah.
Because they have a 20 ticket limit because who needs 24-day passes?
Yeah.
People who want to sell them.
Yeah. Again, you go online and it's absolutely absurd how expensive they're selling for now. I mean, when I was in the queue, for reference, a 4-day pass would cost about $250 or so from the website. And I just peeked during the day on Wednesday when they went on sale. Also, they went on sale Wednesday in the middle of the workday, noon Pacific time, 2 o'clock Central, 3 Eastern. Are we kidding?
You think Star Wars fans have jobs?
Yeah, right. That's right. Literally. But I went online just to see, and on Vivid Seats, $1,000 for a 4-day pass, just immediately, 4 times the price. And you know, it's gotten worse and worse. So, like, I was spending $90 per ticket for each individual day pass, ended up being like $360. And you go on Vivid Seats, and it was, I think, $350 a day they were selling for.
I'm hoping Disney's going to crack down on that scalping because that stuff is ridiculous, and they should be really trying to cut that out. I do appreciate, though, and Alex, I'm sure you laid out a huge amount of money, so please let Aaron and I know where we can pay you back for the tickets you bought for us, which you did with that 20 limit.
Yeah, I got those right in the back pocket here.
Bye, Alex. He just got kicked out.
I mean, I would have bought tickets for us, you know, but fair enough.
Yeah, I have no money, so I can't buy tickets for us.
That's
right.
And
they just announced the first guest too,
which is
Hayden Christensen, Anthony Daniels, E. McDermott, Michelle Ang, and D. Bradley Baker. And just for reference, that would be Anakin, C-3PO, the Emperor, the voice actress for Omega, and the voice actor for all the clones.
Yeah, that's 4 amazing guests. Those are 4 people who are really important to Star Wars. That are
listen to me. Hayden Christensen was listed first out of all of them because he's the most exciting.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is Hayden Christensen who he's done some other great work and other stuff. So I would love to see him for that. Anyway, all right, enough ragging on this. Speaking of
Anakin Skywalker.
If Anakin Skywalker is a Pokemon, he evolves up and evolves up. And we saw one of his evolutions in the last episodes of Maul. Alex, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought I actually didn't really see it coming. I didn't think that Vader was going to appear in person. But now that I saw it, I was really happy that they went this route for a couple of reasons. First of all, they didn't make Vader speak, which I know we're going to get into more in depth, but I just thought that was a brilliant choice. I'll say off the bat. I will also say that his presence and being able to, anytime I get to see Vader in his prime fighting is really exciting. And I never in a million years thought I would get to see Darth Vader duel Maul in any capacity, whether it's animation or live action. And it was so epic. Maul was hampered the whole time, obviously, with his busted leg, but it was still so cool to watch. And the way that, Maul and Daki fought together, and then Maul kind of sacrificed him in order to push Devin towards the dark side. I mean, it was just really, I thought, masterfully done. And frankly, I feel like Maul just kind of realized to a degree at some point in that fight, shit, I am outclassed, bro.
Yeah.
And also the last thing I'll say is it harkened back a thought I had of the last time we saw Maul canonically at the end of the Clone Wars, where Ahsoka shows up and goes, you're lucky Anakin didn't show up.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, yeah, clearly Maul would have gotten his shit rocked if Anakin showed up.
Well, I think you're right, but I think one thing that's interesting, and Pete Wright pointed this out on one of our last episodes, that Vader's fighting style is so different than Anakin's. Anakin is like parkour pants. Yeah. He is just bouncing all over the place. He's using all these technical flashes and stuff like that. Vader is just, the point I made is in D&D, you switch from a dexterity-based weapon to a strength-based weapon. He is just full ahead pounding on him. And I think you're right that both of them are better than Maul to some extent, but it's such a different fighting style. And I thought that was a great way of showing how this is Vader. It leads me to a question, though, Alex, I want to hear your thoughts on, and then we'll kind of broaden it out because it's not just going over stuff we talked about, but we know that by the time 14 years later, 15 years later, by the time of A New Hope, or probably 17 years later, whatever, I'm bad with math, but we know that Vader has as much as he can push down the memories of Anakin. He's not thinking like Anakin. This is 2 years into him being Vader. He is still, there's got to be some of that coming back, but he's obviously fighting it quite a lot. We know from a lot of his novels. Do you think that Vader sees Maul, or even when someone tells him, you've got to go to Janix to fight Maul, is some part of him connecting to him being an 8-year-old boy, and the first time he ever sees a red lightsaber is this crazy guy with horns and a painted face coming at him on a scooter, and then later killing his first mentor? Anakin has this pretty traumatic history with Maul, and I'm just wondering, is that a part of what's happening in Vader's head during this fight?
I think yes. I think at the very least he remembers the fact that Maul is the one that killed Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon was very much a father figure, even though it was short-lived to Anakin. And Maul was also the one that tortured Obi-Wan for years. And so I'm sure that in Anakin's head, he knows about that. And also I actually saw online that it is canon in the Vader comics that Anakin was so fascinated by Maul's fighting style, he had Obi-Wan create a holographic module to basically Anakin to practice his lightsaber skills as a Padawan. So he trained against Maul basically. Mm-hmm. And so I think that it was very much in his head of take even extra revenge on this scourge, on this and also probably he sees him as this usurper, this imposter, the imperfect, apprentice to his master, and how it just, Maul has literally been a thorn in the side of every single master Anakin has ever served. So,
yeah.
No, I think it's true.
That's a good point.
I think it's true. So, with all that, we have these great episodes. Let's talk about the show as a whole. And one thing I've kept kind of referencing, but never really getting into, is the beauty of those final lightsaber scenes. I want to use that to talk about the animation style in general, because obviously animation keeps getting better and better. And part of that's the technology, part of that's the budget. even if you just look from like season 1 to season 4 of the Clone Wars, the animation gets so much better. But the level of detail they had here, and I was noticing it especially in those last episodes, where the idea of a lightsaber fight in the mist, where you kept having like the glow of the lightsaber reflected on the mist, and the way Vader's like, that final moment from episode 7 where the whole screen kind of goes red as his lightsaber turns on, and we saw scenes of the red and the blue flashing in the mist. What do you all think of the animation, those fight scenes, especially just overall?
Aaron?
I loved it. I mean, I'm a sucker for the Clone Wars style. Like, a big part of my beef with Rebels and why I haven't rewatched it so much as I have Clone Wars is the change in animation style. I don't know if that was just like a thing neurodivergence wise that I had a really hard time with. I really did not like that animation style, especially when Ahsoka showed up. I was like, what have they done to my girl? What have they done to her? I was not happy with it as a teenager. So I was so happy when like Bad Batch came out and that was the same Clone Wars animation style. And now this show is kind of the same style, but like you're saying, it's getting better and better and better. And I love that they've stuck with the style to kind of I feel like it keeps some sort of continuity or like energy or vibe the same, as well as obviously nostalgia. But yeah, it's just so beautiful and crisp nowadays. It's insane.
So clarify, you do or do not like the crispness?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
No, I love the Clone Wars animation style and how they've continued to improve it. Because at the start, I was saying the newer animation style for Rebels or the different style was harder for me at first to kind of like get used to.
And to be fair, like Rebels was very unique in that like it was specifically designed after Ralph McQuarrie's like OG drawings. But I do get it. Like, and I also agree that the animation has continued to get amazing. And it's just something, I don't know, man. Like you said, it's gotten crisper, and seeing, we go back and watch Maul fight in the early Clone Wars, still really epic. But like, this is just, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And we've only even talked, that's just the Vader and Maul portion of it, like, moving through the old temple, but like even fighting the Inquisitors, seeing Devin fight, it's even that we knew that Maul was going to eventually betray Daki, like seeing them fight together was pretty cool. It's very rare to see, like a Jedi and a Sith fighting side by side, even temporarily.
And I mean, we got that throughout the whole series with more like Maul and Devin in the previous episodes before that finale.
And I liked the way they evolved Maul's fighting style, because I went back and watched the whole show again a couple of nights ago because Mary, my spouse, hadn't seen it yet, and she likes binging the whole thing. And just seeing like the difference in when he's literally fighting for his life versus like when he's fighting Devin, where it's very clear he's never trying to land a killing blow because he wants to train her. He wants to get her to tap into her dark side feelings. And so he's clearly just trying to like piss her off. He's being almost like condescending in how he's fighting against her. And it just, the way they show that in different ways. I also just, and I want to ask you guys about it more because you might know more about like his race and stuff like that. The character design of Daki was so well done. Like he just, and I was wondering, we've seen like obviously like other anthropomorphic lizards like the Trandoshans, but have we seen Daki's species? Do we know what it is? And just like the green and yellow speckling on his head was just so gorgeous.
Oh, the animation for him was beautiful. I don't think that we've really seen the species that much before.
The only thing that comes to mind is, and I don't know if it's the same exact, but do you remember very momentarily during Attack of the Clones, that Jedi that pulls up on Dooku and then Jango Fett like shoots him immediately and he just falls to his death? He has the same.
Oh, vibe. I know who you're talking about.
He has the same.
I know it's like Coleman some shit.
Yeah, him. What's it? What Coleman?
It was a trivia question recently. What was it?
Coleman Traber.
Coleman Traber, yeah.
Traber. That's let's see, species. Let's see what's the same species.
It's a different species. His species is Verk, whereas I had just looked up Master Daki is Mozik, and they are only credited as that species being mentioned in Maul Shadow Lord.
Yes, there's a whole Reddit page that says TIL, the Master Daki is not the same as Cole and Trevor.
Look, not all dinosaurs are the same, okay? They both
They're
both
not.
might look like anthropomorphic dinosaurs, but they're not.
That is why I thought that they were possibly connected, but
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've gotten to the end, it's a beautiful show. We love Vader. What do we think of the show overall?
I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I felt like the story progressed naturally. And I think a big concern for a lot of people going into this is like, okay, how can Maul kill her master and Devin still like would be willing to train with him? Like, how are they going to get rid of the master? Like, it can't really be Maul, can it? And this was a perfect way of doing it because it aligns their rage. Where he hates Sidious so much and therefore Anakin as well. And I'm sure now that he's realized that Vader is Anakin, he's going to have a lot more feelings about it in season 2. And she obviously hates Vader. I mean, in the last episode, she literally says like, I will kill him.
Right.
And I loved the way that they did that scene because her eyes changed so quickly and they did just, I think, a tiny bit of layering over her vocals when she said, I will kill him. It's almost like, if you guys remember in the Clone Wars, the way that Mother Talzin's voice has like a deeper like echo to it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It felt like when she said that there was something edited in there that felt like the dark side, I guess. It like really exacerbated the idea of the rage. And I thought was really cool. Unless the actress can do that with their voice, in which that's insane. But sorry, really roundabout way to kind of get to my point. But I think it was perfect how they got rid of Master Daki. Rip Mr. Allstate. Alex? Your mic is muted, brother.
Sorry. Yeah. I was laughing at the Allstate comment. But yeah, I think that it was very like it was the best way to like just a gentle, it was so subtle. Maul just put a little bit of a force push to push him forward. It was kind of like a sorry, bro, I'm leaving you. And like high key, I think that like it worked out best for Maul, but I think if Maul wasn't injured, he would have kept fighting because I think he like had some pride and like wanted to kill Vader. But he saw his opportunity, you know, pushed Daki into him, and the death was really sad. And like it's just, you know, Vader is just so fucking cold, man. Like it's scary to think that like, you know, just a few years ago, like he was Anakin Skywalker, a beloved Jedi, and you know, it's just murdering Daki in cold blood. And Devin's rage immediately unbalancing her was very poignant. At the very end, y'all, like her like gripping and like has that little creepy smile. She's like, okay, I'm ready. Like ready to like, she looks like she's ready to fucking murder a planet. Like her rage is deep. And so I feel like the Darth Talon vibes are there.
Yeah. And I feel like it's nice because if this character had, you know, not many doubts beforehand and then her master died, it wouldn't be as believable. Whereas like she's been having doubts this whole time. She's been really angry at the Empire this whole time and really angry at their position and just like having a lot of these feelings that have been kind of dismissed by Daki because he doesn't know the best way to approach them. You know, you're Jedi, you ignore them. And so I think it was nice that it's clear that Maul didn't just pick her because, oh my God, it's a Jedi. But like there was truly something brewing that he could feel.
Yeah, she definitely, and in some ways I felt like this is maybe a bit of a stretch, but the way the Duel of the Fates in Phantom Menace is really about is Qui-Gon or Sidious going to wind up being the one to raise Anakin? And obviously it's Obi-Wan, but you know, we know that Sidious grooming him the whole time. I felt there was a similar thing happening here. And in that Vader looked like he was like kind of pulling his punches a bit when he was fighting Devin. Like he was definitely trying to like push her aside, but not kill her. Mm-hmm. And we know that like the Inquisitorius and Vader, especially from the Jedi Fallen Order games and stuff like that, they love to find Padawans who have a lot of these feelings and bring them over. And so to me, a lot of that fight was which one of you is going to get to be Devon's master, Vader or Maul. And there were definitely times where I thought she was going to wind up with Vader, in part because, and I think we shouldn't be held to this, but I think she kind of has to be Talon if she's with Maul, not Darth Talon, just because he's moved away from the whole Darth system and things like that. So part of me was wondering, like, is Vader going to make her Darth Talon? Like, what's that going to be about? But yeah, I just loved that aspect of the fight and loved that it's, you know, it would be one thing if she was still totally like 100% I believe in everything my master taught me, because then you'd kind of think, well, now that your master's dead, aren't you going to believe that all the more? But she was questioning him all the time. She was questioning the Jedi code and like, we have to survive. And I think it's very possible for her to look at this and think, I love my master, but he was a fool. And his devotion to the Jedi code, not only did it get the Jedi killed, but it got him killed. And that's even more confirmation for her of this isn't the code I should be following.
It was kind of what happened to Ventress. She saw her master die and was like, got her rage take over and was kind of convinced by Dooku that, you know, the Jedi were weak and she should embrace a different path. So it's a classic Sith playbook, turning a young mind. Also, remember, she's like so, you know, her mind is so malleable at this young age. Like, you know, it's not hard to plan her emotions. And I'm really upset that I have to wait an entire year or longer to see what, you know, the future holds for this, because season 2 is going to be so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's going to be so good. I can't wait.
Like evil Devon, it's going to be pretty fun, I feel like.
And
so we haven't like gotten really a series where you get to dive into like the training long term of a new Sith apprentice.
So here's a question. Well, I mean, I think we were getting one, but then idiot fans called it.
No, I know.
Yeah,
we would have gotten. I mean, the Acolyte would have been fucking incredible, man.
Yeah, I think this is picking up some of the like. I really hope they get Leslie Headland to help write season 2 because, you know, she clearly had some ideas of where that could go.
Every time Matthew brings up the Acolyte, I get sad because I really wanted season 2.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying I kind of think we're going to get that. And
it won't be Plagueis.
There's one other character who we learned from another animated show not that long ago, who's running around at this same time, who might have something to say to both Maul and Devon. Asajj Ventress.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
I'm really curious if she's going to show up somewhere in this period in Maul season 2. Because it would feel weird to introduce her and then not do anything with her. And Maul is the show that's in that same time period.
Yeah. And like Worlds, you know, because she was running with the Underworlds and Bounty Hunters, I think, primarily.
Right. Yeah, very much so. And this was a point I made on the last episode. I feel like she can't stay Maul's apprentice for long. Because, you know, the way he tries to recruit Ahsoka and the way he tries to recruit Ezra, he kind of makes reference to like, I want an apprentice. He's not talking as someone who had an apprentice for 10 years. You know, it seems like he's really coming from a place of like, you would be not my first, but like, it feels to me like if Devon had been his apprentice for 10 years, it feels to me like it wouldn't line up with where he was in Rebels. So I mean, we'll see. I could be wrong there, but that's kind of how I was seeing it.
It also was. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if like Devon betrays him, and he says, "I was betrayed," doesn't he? Like when he's stuck on that Sith world. What if him and Devon went together to explore it, and then Devon like a bit betrays him at some point?
I mean, it'd be interesting.
You would need a time skip though to get past the Crimson Dawn solo appearance,
right?
Which I am happy that they brought in Dryden Voss to like connect Solo to this. Yeah,
it's nice that they're not ignoring the cameo in Solo and they're like exploring that avenue more. I don't think it's out of the question that he could have Talon as an apprentice and be puppeting Voss. Or puppeting Kira to take over Voss, you know, whichever it was. I think he could definitely have Talon at that point, even though she's like not seen in Solo. I think with Maul, it's hard to know how he would react trying to get an apprentice after having one for a short period of time versus after possibly having an apprentice for a long time. And I think just like at the end of the day, his mental is so unstable. Like we literally had an episode of him just being a schizophrenic in this show. Like I could very much see it as the second something goes wrong, he just kind of falls back towards that madness of like, nothing's ever gone right. And I need this and and betrayal. That being said, I'm not as familiar with Rebels, so I could be wrong, but I don't think his behavior in Rebels, to my memory, rules out the possibility of Talon being his apprentice for more than like a year.
That's fair.
I don't know if 10 full years, but
That's fair. That's fair. Do we think there'll be a time jump?
I was just thinking about this because I feel like they kind of have to.
Why?
Like, not they have to. I don't want there to be one. But
I think Devin trained from the get-go.
Well, do we think we're getting more than 2 seasons?
Maybe.
Because if they're going to keep going with this show, then I don't think they would do a time jump or that they necessarily need one. Because I think it would be some important exposition explaining how they get set up with Crimson Dawn.
Right.
I don't want them to do a time jump because I need to know about the tattoos. I need to know if they're fueled by hate or if she went to an artist.
Like if tattoos form naturally.
Yeah. Because the thing is like, the Zabraks on Dathomir, their tattoos are natural, I believe.
And
even like the as in like the Night Brothers, like those are natural tattoos.
Yes.
They have them from a very young age. So as far as I know, they're natural. And I believe what we saw in Ahsoka, we see that the Night Sisters tattoos are from dark magic.
Right. And there's a lot of connections happening right now with Night Sister stuff. We have Merrick, who's hanging around, who we know shows up with the Night Sisters in Ahsoka. Maul's legs that we saw get so damaged were made by Mother Talzin, and so I'm kind of wondering, like, is he going to go back to the Night Sisters to get them healed? The Night Sisters have been wiped out at this point, but we know they exist as ghosts or whatever. So yeah, I think there's a lot of possibilities for overlap in that regard.
Yeah. Okay, I'm so sorry. Intrusive thought. You said Maul's legs, and I just had this like image of what's her name? In Andor, the girl with the antique shop.
Oh, Clea.
Like, what if Clea just had like a set of Maul's legs there?
Damn.
Like his old spider legs or something.
Damn.
That I mean, I use a prosthetic leg. There's nothing wrong with selling prosthetics.
I just think it would be hilarious. Sorry, carry on, please.
Most people would have no idea. They'd be like, "What in the world?" But could be a thing. Could be a thing. You've broken Alex, I think. Now he is just like staring at the camera.
No thoughts. Head empty. Hey, that's okay.
That was crazy.
Alex, what did you think about how Lawson's story wrapped up?
It was kind of goofy. I just feel like it was so insulated. Like I get it. Like it was not all stories can end well. But it was strange in that, like, he was this main character throughout the whole season, and like just very much we introduced his character and he dies at the end, and didn't overall really have a strong impact on the story, whether he was there or not. Like the Empire would have gotten called in, and all of the events that happened probably would have happened.
Yeah.
But like I think that he was still a fun character, and that like at the end of the day, like his sacrifice, I'm more intrigued honestly about like how his death is going to affect his son, and like will Riley have a role in season 2, and like will he be like a force trying to pull Devin back towards the light? What?
I have a great theory about that, but you go ahead and finish.
No, send it.
I did mention this when Matthew and I talked about it, but I would love to see, because I think in that last scene we did kind of see when Devin was like crying but like punching the wall inside the ship, and Riley was just like you know, and she just kind of looked over, and there was like almost like a flash of compassion, but it wasn't the way she would have normally reacted to him.
Yeah.
So I think he very much will exist in the next season as like a foil to her goodness and her compassion. But my kind of theory was, what if Maul uses that as some sort of training of like, well, prove that you're loyal to me, kill him.
Damn.
And I feel like that would be crazy.
Aaron said murder of another child on screen.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways they can go with that story, and I definitely agree with you, Alex. I thought it was very tropey. I didn't love like I'm going to sacrifice myself for him. I thought all of this is happening because of the Empire, and I left my wife because she's part of the Empire. So Two Boots, now please take my son back to his mother in the Empire. Felt a little like you don't have a cousin somewhere, dude. Felt a little strange, but yeah, I don't think Maul would make it straight up kill him just to show that you're loyal to me, because I think part of why his getting her to this far into the dark side has worked is everything he has said has been reasonable so far. It's all been her path to dark side feels a lot like Ezra's, when Ezra kind of flirted with it a bit in Middle of Rebels, or like Dooku's in the books, of like you're fighting something very evil, and the light side doesn't give you enough power to fight it. This is all about fighting Sidious. This is all about fighting Vader. And Maul's kind of letting her believe she can still be a hero and just use the dark side. So I don't think it would just be like straight up kill him.
Yeah.
I think it would be he's weak and he's holding you back. Like that he might engineer a situation where like she has to put herself back into danger to rescue him. And he's like,
I mean, also there's just the fact of like, well, if we let him go, he's going to his mother in the Empire and they're going to comfort us. So we can't necessarily just like let him leave.
And why the fuck would he want to go to the Empire anyway, when the Empire's who killed his dad?
Yeah.
He's gonna be a radicalized little rebel now.
Yeah. And I hope with Two Boots we're gonna get an interesting story. Two Boots is the guy who like the leopards ate his face. He didn't think the leopards were gonna eat his face, but now that they have, he's like kind of not cool with the leopards anymore. And I wonder if
something.
Oh, you haven't heard about the leopards eating my face?
I have not.
No.
Well, okay, you both are not in the same circles that I am. So there's a popular meme about talking about Trump voters who are now like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that Trump is coming after my people. What happened? And people refer to like, if you vote for a party called Leopards Eating People's Faces, and then you're surprised that the leopards, are eating your face.
Your face.
Yeah.
Sure.
What the fuck? I see.
I never thought the leopards would eat my face. And that's Two Boots isn't quite that bad. Two Boots wasn't like, I want the leopards to eat other people's face. He was like, they're leopards. They're fine. They're cute. They're cuddly. But I think he's also very much meant to represent those folks who are like, look, as long as you don't do anything bad, you don't have to worry about ICE or the cops or whatever it is. And yeah, so I feel like his evolution has been really interesting. And I want to see, I hope he's like, so Riley, your dad wasn't in his right mind. He killed him. You don't really want to go to your mom, do you?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what kind of evolution a droid is capable of.
Yeah.
Because we know there's, some sentience to them, obviously, but at the end of the day, it's like C-3PO is a protocol droid. Oh my god.
Yeah. Definitely.
Sorry, I got a call. C-3PO is a protocol droid, and all these other things.
For sure.
Somebody else go.
Spybot. Alex, are you joining all the rest of us in
Yes.
Spybot?
In morning Spybot?
Yeah.
I never got attached to him as everyone else did. I feel like he was funny. He was a funny little goofy guy. But he just didn't have the same impact as like a Chopper, or a BB-8, or a obviously an R2 or C-3PO, but they're on their own pedestal.
He was so cute.
I don't know. I just like he kind of felt like he was a fun little like comic relief, and like when he died, he was like, Master. I was like, damn, that's tough. But it kind of felt the same for him as I felt for that weird little droid that followed Cad Bane around. I was like, damn.
I liked him too.
Yeah, but he was just like there. He wasn't like a huge character. I'm sorry.
No, I think okay.
Oh, to me, it was like K2SO levels of like, and I was getting tired of him, and so I was like, I didn't want him in season 2. It felt like the right time to be done with him, but it definitely hurt me hard.
No, I can't. See, for me, I love nothing more than a bad guy having like a little fuck ass droid that he really likes, but like won't really admit that he likes. And the droid's like very useful in certain ways, but it's also just like an annoying little piece of shit sometimes. But like he would die for that droid. Like he freaked the fuck out when they killed Spybot. And I think that's true. I think, and something that Matthew pointed out is in certain books and or comics, it's kind of canon that Maul likes to make his own droids.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like Anakin losing R2, bro.
Anakin didn't make R2. He made C-3PO.
Got her. Got her.
I understand your point.
Nothing to say.
I understand your point entirely. It's okay. It's okay.
Aaron has left the building.
Wow. Okay.
In a sign of protest.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, to me, I think one of the most insightful parts of the whole thing of Spybot is we see not only like it's sad that Spybot dies, but Maul clearly reacts. At the same point, Maul was like so 10 toes down, and at the same time, Maul has all these Mandalorians who are like with him, and they all die. He's got a couple of Zabrak brothers. They die. He's just not like the fact that Spybot is the death that gets to him when like the Mandalorians and the Zabraks don't, to me also says so much about him. Like poor Rook cast, like she 100% thought like she was part of his plan.
She's not dead.
Are you sure?
I am a strong believer she's not dead. We saw every character's death on screen, except she's just carried away into the smoke.
I have some bad news for you.
You what?
May I go? Okay. The actress has spoken on. They asked her, "How do you want your character to die?" And she says, "I like to imagine that Darth Vader ripped her lungs out through her throat." And so I tried to like envision that I was making death sounds.
But actresses can say that. I'm just saying that
But why would they be asking her how she wanted her character to die?
I never believe in an off-screen death.
Dude, we heard crunching noises.
I heard it too, but I don't believe it until
I heard it too.
We have seen characters get cut in half, stabbed through the fucking chest, and come back to life in this franchise. An off-screen death, I just can't believe until I know for confirmed for 100%.
Okay. Nonetheless, because Darth Maul isn't monitoring her vitals at the time, my point still stands that he showed far more emotion at Spybot's death than at the death of all these other people who had like pledged their loyalty to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we'll see where that goes. What do we think of where the show is going to fit in with the rest of Star Wars? Like, Asajj Ventress might show up in a later season. Is there anything else being created right now about this time period? The Bad Batch is done. Mm-hmm. The Mandoverse is all set. Like, I think a couple of years after all this, right? No, actually, what? No. Yeah, Mando is happening. Oh no, I'm sorry. Mando's happening way on the other.
Yeah, Mando's after the Empire,
after Return of the Jedi. So yeah, so I don't think there's any other media that's either like already in production or like that we're seeing already. That's at this time period, right?
Yeah. I agree. I don't think that there's anything really. I mean, maybe some books or comics that I'm not as tapped into. But it doesn't mean we can't see characters that have been featured in like the Bad Batch, even though it's over. I don't really think like just the Bad Batch rolling up would fit in at all. But we've met some other interesting side characters throughout that show that could, play a part, that are kind of part of the underworld or whatnot. Or we could just have fairly few cameos, and I'm okay with that too. I'm all about new characters. All the new characters we've gotten so far have been, in my opinion, great.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was Googling about Rook.
You just can't believe me.
If she's actually dead, then I'm upset about it because I hate an off-screen death, especially for a major character in the series.
That was not an off-screen death. Like, That's like saying that, like, okay, we didn't actually see Vader stab Daki.
Yes, we did.
No, we cut to a scene of his lightsaber being in him.
It was already in there.
Okay, yes, but we still saw the lightsaber through the chest.
I feel like that's like we saw an on-screen death. Like,
I don't know, man. I feel like you know, if we at least like had her helmet skitter forward or something. I just all right. Yep. I don't know.
You like a little confirmation.
Yeah, bro. I want a little confirmation. And I just like, you know, you have this main character who's sucked into the fog. I get it. It's scary. And you hear all these scary noises. But I don't know.
Okay.
Maul didn't even see it happen. And he just gets all fucking mad for, you know. I guess he felt it probably in the Force, but.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
I think that's my point. I don't think he was mad about her. I think he's mad about it being Vader. Because, like, Vader's like his ex's new thing, you know, like that's he's so
upgrade.
much of his, like, he is feeling so betrayed by Sidious, and like definitely has that, like, no, if Sidious wanted me to be his apprentice again, I don't want to be his apprentice, but now here's the new apprentice to Sidious, like,
right. Maul was seeing the ex got together with someone who is wealthier, prettier, and making more money, better job.
Yeah.
Better skill set.
Basically.
Yep. Better armor.
Maul's like, no, but
better
you
armor.
love me, right?
Better robotic legs.
And I'll be curious.
Better robot for real. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. With that, Aaron, any quotes you want to hit us with? Any last comments you have on your written down lists?
Written down lists, one thing. I just loved how throughout the entire time that Vader was on screen, it's like people would like 2 or 3 of them are force pushing him and he slides back like 5 feet and then he just yeets them against a wall. He's so like, powerful. Oh, you want to play push? Let's play push. Die, bitch.
Yeah. And like they did get him. Like I appreciate that it wasn't just that they had no effect on him, but they'd have that small effect and he'd be like, okay, sure, I'll do that times 10.
And he like busted through the wall next to them. He was toying with them a little bit.
Crazy.
And I don't know, it's just like, yeah. And also, like, it was interesting because we saw like rocks being thrown at him and like rubble falling down on him, which I feel like we see happen in a lot of different. We see happen in Rebel. Was that? I feel like everyone kind of realizes we can't win. Let me try and throw a building on this guy. Yeah. And Vader's just like, fuck you.
Well, and I was mentioning how in the books, especially in Legends canon, like that's how Plagueis kills his master. That's how Bane kills the sword master Twi'lek, who like who's about to outduel him. Like pulling down rocks or like a temple of a ceiling or something on a Sith master to take him out is it's a time-honored tradition.
Or throw him down a reactor shaft.
Rocks fall, your master dies.
That didn't actually work.
Except Obi-Wan threw rocks at Vader in the TV series, and it seemed to affect Vader a little bit more because he was so pissed.
Yeah, I mean that's also like a very powerful Jedi and a very emotionally charged situation.
And a very emotionally unstable
Anakin?
Yeah, Anakin Vader, depending on the moment in that battle.
Yeah.
I know Sidious already calls him Vader, but to me, until he's got the mask on, he's not Vader.
No, I'm sorry. Obi-Wan.
We're talking about it in Obi-Wan.
In Obi-Wan in the series.
Oh, okay.
When he's still switching back and forth, he's like code switching because of Obi-Wan.
I do not have that memory very well in my head, so I agree with you.
One of my favorite fights in all of Star Wars. I actually had let's finish this first, and I have a question for the two of you.
Cool, finish. Tell us your question.
Stay classy, Janik City. No, my buddy and I were having
on the air.
Okay. My buddy and I were having a debate. Another huge Star Wars fan. We were arguing which is the worst Star Wars movie, and I feel pretty strongly that Attack of the Clones is the worst Star Wars movie. But specifically, it was between Attack of the Clones and The Last Jedi. He was just shitting on The Last Jedi. He was like, "You should talk about this on your podcast." And I'm like, "I have a Last Jedi lover on my podcast, so I will gladly discuss this."
Yeah.
Do you both agree that The Last Jedi is better than Attack of the Clones, or do you disagree?
Oh, I agree.
Matthew?
I'm so close to the remove button as you got. No, Last Jedi is one of the top 3 movies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why are you close to the remove button? I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. I thought you.
So I have the side of The Last Jedi is better than Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
By a lot. By a lot. Like Like I said, he was like, but you have the epic fight of Geonosis. I'm like, okay, like one great scene does not make the entire movie better than episode 8, which is better across the board.
Also, that scene is terribly shot. There's no emotional weight to it because you never we see so few of the Jedi deaths, and when we do, they're almost always at a distance. You know, we don't.
To be fair though, when you're a little kid, seeing all the Jedi fight was really fun.
I was 24 when I saw that movie.
We were little kids.
I think I was like 7.
I'm just saying,
6 maybe.
To me, the interesting debate, because I think it's interesting as part of fandom, is which do you think is worse, Attack of the Clones or The Rise of Skywalker?
It's really funny, actually, Matthew. I rewatched Rise of Skywalker the other day, and I am souring on it.
Oh.
So let me finish the thought. I was trying to finish. You kept interrupting me. So yes, I've muted you now. To me, the nature of the debate is which is worse? The movie that is just actually worse in terms of like worse dialogue, worse directing, worse cinematography and stuff like that, or the movie that doesn't fit, that is kind of like worse in terms of the overall story. Because I think Attack of the Clones is a great part of the story. It moves you from 1 to 3. It helps set up the Clone Wars. It does all of the things you want it to do as a Star Wars movie. Just as a piece of well-made cinema, it looks like it's made by a high school theater group, you know, or most high school theater groups probably do much better. Rise of Skywalker, brilliantly acted, wonderful dialogue, you know, beautiful cinematography, all these things. It's just total nonsense as a Star Wars movie.
Day, for Star Wars Day, I did the sequels this
you
year.
Start that again?
You got to start over.
I still had you muted.
I rewatched the sequels for my Star Wars Day marathon, and when I got to episode 9, similarly, I was like, yo, cinematography is really good, beautiful visuals. But I was like, Jesus Christ, none of this makes sense.
No.
I understand that I defended it very viciously like a year or so ago. And I would say, I still find the movie entertaining. I still enjoy watching the movie. But as I went through it, I was like, wow, watching this immediately after watching episode 8, the drop off in story weight and JJ really just went and just reversed everything and all the character development that Kylo had and Rey had, and I was like, what are we doing? And even within the story, it kind of just cut it, jumped around so much. There was no exposition. Why does C-3PO go with them? Why didn't R2D2? And why? I don't know. A lot of the plot points. And it's just I'm souring on it as time goes on. So I would say the Clone Wars is definitely the better, or Attack of the Clones is probably the better Star Wars movie. Rise of Skywalker is better production quality. So maybe it's an overall push.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what you care about more, you know.
Yeah,
totally, definitely.
I would if I'm just stuck in a hotel room and I've got nothing else to do, I'd much rather watch Rise of Skywalker. I think it's a much more entertaining movie. But in terms of movies I reference on this podcast, or if someone asks me about things, I'm going to reference Attack of the Clones so much more because I think it sets up character beats that get paid off a lot more.
Yeah,
I get that. I personally disagree. I would still watch Attack of the Clones over Rise of Skywalker. But
how many times have you seen Rise of Skywalker though? You told me twice.
Yeah. So I haven't seen it that many times. Attack of the Clone is just nostalgic. It's fun. It's random. I know where the story goes, rather than I feel like I watch Rise of Skywalker. And since one, I don't have as much knowledge on the sequels compared to obviously Clone Wars era. I've seen all the sequel movies several times, but like Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, I think I've seen them twice, maybe 3 times each. So I just don't have that level of familiarity. So I feel like I just am even more confused when I watch Rise of Skywalker, especially if I haven't just watched The Last Jedi. Yeah. Because I'm like, wait, is this continuity? Is this not? Is there something I'm missing? Did JJ just throw this in and this is hearkening to the first movie? What did I miss?
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. I totally agree that Rise of Skywalker is a more visually pleasing movie. And it's a much it's an easier watch if it's the kind of thing that you're coloring and watching, you know? Right. Whereas I feel like if you're sitting there and you're really watching it and trying to understand it, it can be a harder watch.
Yeah.
They The humor was a little bit belabored the last time I watched it. Like they really made C-3PO try and make every possible joke at every. I'm like, okay, guys, like we're killing some of the stuff over the top here.
I think with Attack of the Clones, it's that I feel like I am very sensitive to. I'm gonna say, for me, especially in the time and age that we're in now, I Anakin's an incel in Attack of the Clones. Like just like the whole the fact that Lucas calls that a romance when it is so incredibly toxic. They kiss and later he's like, I'm haunted by the memory of the kiss you never should have given me. Like, throw a drink in his face and walk out if anyone ever uses that kind of line on you. Like,
yeah, he'd earn a throat punch from me for sure.
I think I would have liked Anakin a lot more in Revenge of the Sith if I hadn't seen that. But I saw that and I was like, Anakin's an asshole. Like, he does not deserve a queen like Padme. And yeah, so and there's nothing in Rise of Skywalker that's painful to me in that regard. It's just like
that's so fair. Yeah.
I because I'm an Anakin defender, I'm not defending his behavior necessarily. However, we do have to remember that he was a slave and then taken into a order of monks that wouldn't allow any sexual expression whatsoever. So the dude had absolutely no one to talk to about this or no way to learn. So give him a little tiny bit of yeah. Like how do you learn how to talk to anyone if you're having all these feelings as you're going through puberty and all these things? How do you know how to talk to somebody if you have no one you can trust to talk to if it's just you in your own head?
When I first started using a prosthetic leg, I was clumsy as hell.
Yeah.
Because I was using muscles I hadn't used in literal years.
Correct.
I stepped on people's foot.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault. Like, I think the extent to which, like, I don't blame myself for it. You know, I was just learning, but I still said sorry. That didn't diminish the pain that I caused. And if someone wrote a story about someone being like, oh, you're not stepping on my foot, it doesn't hurt at all, I'd be like, that's a bullshit story. I'm so mad at, like, the idea that Padme would fall for that.
Oh, I'm not arguing that.
To her character.
I'm not arguing with you at all, Matthew. It makes no sense that Padme falls for Anakin at all.
Yeah.
At all. I'm arguing just that I feel for Anakin's belabored, painful efforts at flirting because he had absolutely no way to know what he was doing was wrong.
I think I would believe that if I thought the director thought what he was doing was wrong. But
I think go ahead.
If Padme had acted like, okay, you're being really shitty and manipulative now, and then later he had like been different, and that's the side of him that she started to fall for, I'd be with you. But I think for that argument to make sense, the writer and the director have to know what he's doing is shitty, and there's no evidence of that whatsoever. They think he's being romantic, and that makes that movie cringeworthy.
The writer and the director being George Lucas.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, coming from like a very conservative background and also a female background, a woman, I think watching that growing up, like none of that was red flaggy to me because, like Alex is saying, nobody talked about feelings or sexual stuff. Like, if a guy did try to flirt, it was fucking awkward. And like a man being controlling or in your face and this and that, well, that's how a man is supposed to be. He runs the household. Yeah. And I think it's very much a sign of the times in which it was made, where stuff like that, I mean, because I could be wrong. I'm not like a lit major or anything, but I think a lot of like Shakespearean and like older literature has very manipulative male characters in these romantic roles. And that's just what was like accepted and thought to be like, well, this makes sense. And there's also a level of Padme. I want to be clear right here. I am not defending Anakin. He was a piece of shit in that movie when it came to like trying to romance her. But I think for Padme, there's a level of trauma bonding also. Like she just was, someone tried to assassinate her in her bed. And now she's like alone with this guy. And she's like, I don't know, like maybe I thought about you like over the years. Ha ha ha. And then he's like being all weird. So I can see how with the trauma bond, they may end up in a place of romance. But I don't think, knowing what I know about Padme, knowing what she is throughout the show and throughout literature, and same thing for Anakin, like I don't see her falling for that version of him. But throughout the Clone Wars, while their romance certainly isn't great, I think it is a little more believable.
Oh, 100%.
Well, Anakin's a much more confident warrior type person in the Clone Wars.
Right.
Yes.
And to be clear, I'm not saying like, therefore we should all hate this movie because for its time it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
For its time it was super sexist. It's kind of like the way I say, like, as a kid, I loved Ghostbusters, and I still love it. But like, I cringe at all the stuff of the stalker plot that we thought was romantic in the 80s. I think this is the same kind of thing. It's like I don't think there's anything wrong with loving it when you're a kid. And like you said, I think the fact that like a lot of kids of all genders did see it as romantic. I don't blame them. I think that's the problem. Like,
yeah,
I think the fact that so many young boys watched this and like imprinted on Anakin. I imagine if you took a poll of incels, like this movie didn't cause that by any means.
No,
but I'm guessing a lot of them are hardcore Anakin fans. Like, I think this is certainly like a part of that. So, anyway, we are so far away from Maul right now, and I apologize.
We are.
We've gotten so far in a rant.
I asked the question.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's a good question.
But Alex, if you're listening to this, screw you. I was right.
I'm glad he's your friend, but I just have no time at this point for Last Jedi haters. Like, the debate has been happening so long, and it's okay if you don't like the movie, but
and the Last Jedi just gets better with age. With the more, as I watch it, like Andor actually somehow made the Last Jedi even better of a movie because they kind of took some of the concepts that Rian Johnson introduced and hashed them out in the Empire era instead of the post-Empire era. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the next time I watch it, when Luke talks about the failure of the Jedi, I'm going to think about Master Daki.
Yeah. And just Luke's death hits so hard every time. Like yeah. After performing the greatest show of a Jedi's force power you've ever seen. Yeah.
Ba-boom.
Non-violence.
Non-violence.
We got General Grievous 1 and General Grievous 2 over here.
Yep. All right.
And I'm the only one who smokes.
You vape. It's not the same.
Oh, I smoke weed.
Oh, you actually
Daily.
smoke, not just vape it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know what character you would be in the Star Wars universe.
Who?
Maybe Yoda. Yoda seems like he's high.
What the hell?
It's really mellow all the time.
Okay.
Matthew's so confused. We're so off topic.
I'm just like...
I'm just thinking of Grogu with a blood.
I'm going to go check her Instagram name. What was it again? Oh, yes, Lady Tano.
Yeah, but Ahsoka doesn't seem high. Yoda seems high.
Yeah, Ahsoka is...
But I can see Ahsoka hitting a blunt.
She is not the smoking type. I could see her like be down with it, but no, she would not be a stoner.
Okay, they were both just talking nonsense. It was time to go. So on behalf of myself, Alex, and Aaron, thank you all so much. You've been great fans. I appreciate you coming to this podcast. Please write in. Let us know. We're going to start talking about some other things, but we'll definitely do a feedback episode about Maul at some point later. So if you've got some thoughts on that, write in. theethicalpanda.com is where you can find all the show notes, all the ways to contact us. You can find all the awesome things that Alex is doing, all the awesome things that Aaron is doing. Most importantly, though, thank you all so much for listening. Live long and prosper.
Stay classy, Janix.
What are you?
I was hoping for connection.
Why are you here?
Me too.
Me three.
All right.